Hey everybody, this is Michael, aka the Rapper Guy, making my Storytelling Sunday video, which is video number 4 of this 90-day video blitz that I'm a part of. It's supposed to be about how I've overcome some sort of adversity in my life. I've seen a lot of adversity in my life, as I'm sure so many people have. So, honing down on one little story it's taken some time to think about. So, I'm going to tell a story about when I broke my back. I fractured my T7 vertebrae, which is right in between the shoulder blades, right at the lower end of the shoulder blades. I broke that about 10 years ago. I was working a dead end labor job while I broke it, and I broke it at home, so I had no coverage to help me financially. I had to stay home for, it was about 15 weeks. I stayed home. I was told to be off for a year. I couldn't stay off for a year. We just had signed on the dotted line to purchase a house, my wife and I. So we were into that. There were so many other things, like who can just stop working, right? So I fell into a great state of depression that, even thinking about it now, I can't believe that I actually got out of that. And that's where my adversity was. I fell into this depression that lasted 2 years because I had to beg for my dead end job. I had to beg for that to go back. And they took me back and they placed me in with this guy who's supervisor in a research and development department for a fireplace manufacturing company. They placed me in with this guy who everything was about himself, very self-centered. He felt, after a while, he felt threatened by me. Everybody there, management wise, thought I was this idiot or stupid guy. I was told that many times by my boss, that I was dumb and ugly and just very demoralizing. This guy was, and whatever, right? It was hard for me to take, but they put me into this department. I don't think that the supervisor of that department thought much of me at the time, but after a couple months, he started seeing that I was a quick learner of things and that, I wasn't stupid. And it's like he was threatened by me after a while. So he started doing things in the department that would make me look bad in front of the bosses and make him look great in front of the bosses. And a lot of things that I'm not going to go into, take my word on it. His character, that's his character. I don't understand that type of thinking. I never will. But that's what he did. And I endured that for 2 years, up until a point where I re-injured myself on the job this time. And I didn't collect any sort of, we have this thing in Canada called compensation, workers' compensation, where if you injure yourself on a job that you are entitled to at least be paid. I didn't go on compensation because I promised I wouldn't. And instead of helping me heal by lessening my load a little bit so that I could keep working, my supervisor actually worked me harder and helped me less. So what sort of topped it all off for me was one day when the boss's son-in-law came up to see how I was doing. And Paul, you're an awesome guy. I have nothing but respect for you. You're a great guy. This Paul guy came up to see how I was doing. And when he did that, my supervisor came upstairs, and for the first time in like probably months, he had decided he was going to help me in front of this guy to make himself look good. And I had thoughts right there. I was so enraged. The depression was there, but now I was enraged, and I had vivid thoughts of taking a 2x4 with these nails sticking out of it and planting it in his head, killing him. I wanted to kill this guy. Now, that's not me. I'm not a killer. I don't ever think like that. It's really scared me. The thought of going to jail for murder scared me. So I got home. I told my wife. I was almost in tears when I talked to her about it, and she said, well, you know what? There's only one thing you can do, and that's quit your job. And that was a scary notion. I mean, quit my job. We're only been in our house now for a couple of years at this point, and like, how do I quit my job? I wasn't getting paid much, but I was still getting paid. I was uneducated, and what were my options? I didn't even know. So I quit my job though, because my wife, who is the backbone to me, the most solid person in my life, who has seen a lot with me and we've endured a lot, she convinced me to quit. She convinced me that I should think about education. She convinced me to go to university, not back, but to university. And I did. And I put me on this path of education, which honestly brought me out of my funk. It was very enlightening for me to get educated at university. It took me out of my depression, and I'm so grateful for it. And it put me on this path towards my upline, who signed me up in this MLM business late last year. So now I'm a part of this, and I'm learning so much more about myself. Some self development has been awesome. Like adversity, education. You want to deal with adversity, educate yourself. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to go to university to do it. You can get online and educate yourself, but there is no better way to deal with adversity than to educate yourself. And I say that through experience. And if I ever have to deal with some pretty severe adversity again, I will learn something about it or something else just so that I can take my mind off it. So that's how I dealt with that one specific adversity that sort of succumbed into my life. It was just, I was overwhelmed by it all, and I dealt with it. And that's my storytelling Sunday video. Sorry it's a day late, but these things happen. So I'm gonna stop this and upload it, and then I'm going to make my next video, which is Motivation Monday, and it might be along the same theme as this. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I haven't thought about it too much yet, but I will be uploading that in the next little while. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing other videos. All right, take care.